Good morning. On behalf of Superintendent Hoffmeister and the Oklahoma State Department of Education, I would like to welcome you to the Education for Homeless Children and Youth District Census Report FY 2018-19 instructions. My name is Tammy Smith. I am a program specialist in the Office of Federal Programs as well as the State Homeless Coordinator. Today's agendas, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the changes to the Homeless Census Report for FY 18-19, both if you are a non-McKinney-Vento subgrantee and if you are receiving the McKinney-Vento subgrant. For everyone, the due date for the Homeless Census Report is June 30th. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about a homeless census survey that will be coming out later in the summer. I will ask that you, if you have any questions, type those in the chat box, but I will wait until the end of my presentation before I start answering those questions. But go ahead and type them in as you have them, and they will be ready. Okay, so this is the screen, the first screen here for the districts that do not receive the McKinney-Vento subgrant. For everyone that's new or maybe doesn't remember, this is available to you on the single sign-in. If you are the homeless liaison or someone other than the superintendent, your superintendent will need to give you rights for you to get into this report to complete it. Your county and district number will be up here in the corner. I have mine blacked out for privacy reasons here. The other thing I want to point out is that the application status, when you go in, it is going to say incomplete. Now this first page here is going to auto-populate with the liaison's name, phone number, and email address. This is coming from the information that is in the consolidated application for the district. If this information is not correct, you will not be able to change it on this screen. You will need to amend your consolidated application, update that information, and let it carry over here through that means. It will also designate whether your district is one of those that receive the McKinney-Vento subgrant or not. Again, you will not be able to change either of those buttons. Okay, so after you've completed this welcome page, you will go over to the census report for non-grants. Okay, you'll click on that up there. Again, that application status is incomplete, but you're going to automatically see numbers that have pre-populated here. This is new for this year. These are numbers that are being carried over from the WAVE. Okay, so you will want to, before you start your homeless census report, I would suggest that you check the information that you have entered into your student information system and make sure that all of your homeless students are flagged correctly in there because these numbers are coming directly from the WAVE after it gets them from your student information system. The numbers that you will be able to self-report are these for the age birth through 2 and ages 3 through 5 who are not enrolled in pre-kindergarten or kindergarten. Yes, everybody should be capturing this information, even though you are probably not serving this age group. You do need to be capturing this. And most of my districts I see capture this on the enrollment form or the homeless enrollment questionnaire, where it asks if there are other children living in the home and what their ages are. But I do ask that you catch that. Those are numbers that we have to report to OSDE. Once you change those numbers, if you have anything to put in these two fields, that is also going to mean that you will be able to change these numbers down here. The two totals here have to be the same, or you will get an error message and you will not be able to complete the homeless census report. You will only be able to change the numbers here in section 2 for the primary nighttime residents of the homeless children if you add numbers to the age birth through 2 or the age 3 through 5 fields. Section 3, subgroups of homeless students enrolled, this also pre-populates. So everything here is, except for those two fields, are pre-populating, so they are only as good as what you are putting into your student information system, okay? I would ask that you check the numbers that are populating here to make sure they line up with what numbers you have kept throughout the year. Remember, just as a reminder, that once you have identified a student as a homeless child or youth, you've put that in your student information system, they remain with that status until the end of the school year. Okay, so even if they become housed and they're living in a regular, fixed, and adequate housing situation, they still remain flagged as homeless throughout FY19 till the end of the school year, and they're still eligible to receive those services that they have been receiving. If you have zeros in all the fields, you will need to complete section 4, which is not showing, but this is where if you don't have any homeless students, you have to answer the question, what is the process you're using to identify homeless children? Okay, so USDE and here at the State Department, we want to know what you are doing to identify those students, and hopefully there are not many districts that will have zeros there if you have entered everything incorrectly to your student information system. Once you have everything entered, there's a save button at the end and an unsave button. The numbers from the wave will update every night, so it's possible that these numbers will change once you think that your report is finished. Once you save it, though, it stops. No more updates will happen to your report. There is an unsave button, okay, because if you save the report and you think, oh no, I forgot to include these kids in our student information system, or maybe you did it before the end of the school year and you have a homeless family move in and those numbers change, that's the reason for the unsave button. Once you click on the unsave button, you will have to wait until the next day for the numbers to recalculate, because the wave only will change the numbers overnight. Okay, it updates it overnight. Once you save, up at the top, it's going to show complete. Okay, it does not mean that your report has been submitted to here at the State Department, though. It will not be submitted until your superintendent goes in and certifies the report. When your superintendent does that, up here where it says complete, it will show certified. Okay, so again, you want to be sure those numbers are correct, save, and have the superintendent certify. So what happens if the numbers are not correct? If you are looking at these numbers that have pre-populated and they are off from the numbers that you have kept during the year, first of all, you're going to want to check your student information system and make sure that you have flagged the students in your student information system correctly. If they are flagged in there correctly, the next thing you're going to want to do is contact or put in a help desk ticket to OMS, and they will follow through with that and help you determine why those numbers are not carrying over correctly. If you submit the report and the superintendent certifies it and it's something that you need to change, for instance, like if you didn't report enough for the birth through 2 or the 3 through 5, not kindergarten or preschool, then you can contact me and I can send that report back to you and you can make changes that way. Okay? If you are a recipient of the sub-grant, okay, your first page looks the same, except it will say up here Census Report Grant, okay, but the section 1, 2, and 3 will be the same as what we just discussed. The difference for you will be section 4, 5, and 6. Section 4 is where you will mark any of these fields that you used McKinney-Vento funds for. Okay, remember on this one, it's just what you use McKinney-Vento funds for, what you spent those funds on. And then Section 5 is those programs or services that you used other funds, your state and local, your Title I funds, in-kind donations, those type of things. Those are the ones you'll mark in Section 5. Section 6 then would be barriers to the education of homeless children and youth that you have had seen in your district for the school year. Here is the Save and Unsave button that I couldn't show before because my screen was not big enough to get everything on there. But those are the buttons that you will use. Those are the same buttons that would be on the non-McKinney-Vento sub-grant screens. So really, it's pretty easy. We hope that by having the numbers come from the WAVE that this helps you out. But again, I've had a couple of districts that I've talked with where we've had to make some adjustments in our programming because it wasn't carrying everything over correctly. So if you have something like that, get in touch with me and we'll see what we have to do to get those correct. Just a reminder, all districts are required to complete the homeless census report regardless of whether you have identified homeless children and youth or not. The reports are due back, certified, and submitted by June 30th. Okay. The other thing coming up is there will be an EL and homeless survey that will be sent out. I think it's going out in July to superintendents. This is a survey that has specific questions on it that USDE asked for numbers on that we did not have on our census report. We didn't get the information in time to get it put on our census report. So for the homeless, it's asking for the primary nighttime residence of your unaccompanied students. Okay, so just to look forward to getting that and maybe having that information ready. The number that you will put on the survey will need to match the number that is on your homeless census report. We will also ask if the number of children that you identified in 2018-2019 school year was more than you reported in the prior year or less than, and then ask for reasons why that is in your particular district. Did more people leave your district? Were there more jobs? People lose housing? Whatever the reasons are, we want to know what those are because we have to report that to USDE in our October report that we send in. I think that's all about the homeless census report. Again, if you have any questions, you can contact me. I do want to mention, again, I want to reiterate that once they're homeless, they stay homeless for the whole year. However, that homeless status does not carry over to FY20. Okay, you will need to re-identify them and reflag the students for the FY20. The other thing I would like to let you know, kind of a tease of what's coming up, is that we will be doing homeless liaison training online, which will be required for every district, every homeless liaison in the state. There will be more information coming out about that later this summer. Okay, now I'm ready for questions. And I see one from Pam. Does the State Department have a homeless questionnaire districts can use? Yes. On our website, under federal programs, then down towards the bottom under Title IX homeless, there is, if you click on that, there is a homeless enrollment questionnaire that you may look at and use however it works with your district. Okay, any other questions?
Is that easy to show where that form?
Yeah.
Would you like to try that real quick for fun?
Sure, we can. I'll show you where that's at, Pam. Gary's going to do that, make that happen for me.
Well, I'll get you to our website, and then beyond that. Just
while he's doing that, there's a question that repeat the items that will be included in the July report and when will it be due. I don't have the due date yet, but what will be asked in that is for the numbers, your unaccompanied homeless youth, where is their primary nighttime residence at? That is the first question. Secondly, did you report more or less homeless students in the school year 2018-19 than you did in 2017 and 18? And if you reported more or less, what are the reasons that you reported more or less? Again, looking at some trends is what I think USDE is trying to get at. Okay, on the State Department website, go to Federal Programs. Way down here at the bottom is your Title IX, Homeless Children and Youth. Documents and forms. Enrollment questionnaire, right here. Whoops. The enrollment questionnaire. Oh, thank you. I always get in a hurry. Okay, so this is put your name up here. If you want to use this exact one, you could just put the name of your school district up here and use this form, or use parts of it that work for you. But it is a good form to start to identify those homeless children and youth. Okay. Do not see a section 4 or 5 for our district. If you did not receive the McKinney-Vento subgrant last year, you will not see the section 5 or 6, 4, 5, or 6. Okay. Question is on section 3. What and where does the information come from about children with disabilities? Mine populated 4, and I'm not sure where that comes from. Those would be students that come, those numbers would come from the WAVE. Students that you have flagged in your student information system as homeless would be flagged in there as children with disabilities, and that would be where it would come as well. It would be helpful if the July report could be due in early August, as many of us are not on contract in July. I will let the powers be, leadership, know that. Certainly that is a good suggestion. Okay, did I answer everybody? Are there more questions? I'll wait just a minute or so and see if anybody's going to type anything in. I know that most of you are finishing up the school year. Hopefully you will get this report done before you leave, and then remind your superintendent, nudge him or her to certify that, because it is not completed until it's certified. And I will have to call you and or your superintendent if it doesn't get certified by June 30th. So do us all a favor and help get that completed. Okay, I see that there's no more questions. I want to thank you for attending this morning. If you have any questions,
Did you have a slide?
I did have my contact information on here.
I thought proper still, so let's get out of my way.
Okay, there's my contact information, my phone number, my email address. I'd be happy to answer any questions that didn't get asked this morning. I promise to keep this short for you all. I know you're busy at this time of year, so I do appreciate you joining me this morning, finding out this information. Give me a call or shoot me an email if you have any questions. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.